Good morning. The Apostle Paul said that we needed faith, hope and love. So I'd like to touch on faith and hope this morning. But before we go any further, in the book of Amos chapter 3 and verse 7, it says, "No more does the Lord Yahweh do anything without revealing his plans to his servants the prophets." Our dear Father has been so kind to go to extraordinary lengths to give us the scriptures, to explain what's going to happen. He knows that we are of a nervous disposition and we tend to get anxious. So he's told us what he's going to do. Didn't have to, but he did. And one of the prophets he used was Daniel. Now, last week, I left you with Daniel before Nebuchadnezzar to explain what the dream was and its meaning. Now, as you know, it was a dream of a huge image with a head of gold, breast of silver, belly of copper, legs of iron, and feet of iron and clay. Daniel explains that the head of gold was Nebuchadnezzar, and after him were to come several kingdoms until you got to the feet of iron and clay. Now, we know that after Babylon, the Medes and Persians were the silver, the Greeks were the copper, the Romans came along, the legs of iron. They invaded all of Western Europe and the Middle East. They even invaded Britain and Ireland, and I'm certain they wish they hadn't because it's so cold. They had to invent underfloor heating. I digress. But then we come to the feet. Now, there's been a lot of controversy over the feet, and Watchtower has given us various interpretations, varying backwards and forwards. But one of the simplest explanations was in Matthew Henry's concise commentary, written in 1706. And he agrees, he goes through the kingdoms, and then he comes to the feet. And he said the Roman Empire branched into 10 kingdoms as the toes of those feet. And that is what happened, didn't it? The Roman Empire just broke up, and then we had all these different kingdoms, France and Spain, Netherlands, Britain, and all these different ones. Not necessarily 10, but a lot. Endeavours, Matthew Henry goes on to say, endeavours have often been used to unite them for strengthening the empire, but in vain. Some were weak as clay, some were strong as iron. So what happened to the image? Well, the dream went on. The stone was cut out of a mountain. It hit the image on the feet, blew the image to smithereens. The dust was dispersed, but the stone started to grow until it filled the whole earth. What did that mean? Daniel explains this, that in the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. This kingdom will not pass into the hands of another race. And we know from Daniel 7 that this kingdom was going to be given to the Messiah or the Christ, our dear Lord, who is going to reign over this earth. Matthew Henry says this. He says, of the increase of Christ's government and peace, there shall be no end. So where do faith and hope come in here? Well, to hope that one day this poor planet will be peaceful is such a wonderful hope. Can we really believe it? Yes, we can. As Matthew Henry goes on to say, as far as events have gone, the fulfilling of this prophetic vision has been most exact and undeniable. Future ages, and remember he wrote this in 1706, future ages shall witness this stone destroying the image and filling the whole earth. Somebody's got to be alive on this planet when the kingdom comes. Now, there's been a bit of controversy this week. Some people have written in and said, oh, the book of Daniel was fulfilled in the 1st century. Well, I don't agree. I believe that the King of the North is going to meet his end shortly. Now, whether I'm right or not, we'll see. But so how do we resolve these differences? Well, each of us can look at these if we want to, or we can just wait and see. But please be prepared for the worst, because the kingdom is going to come, and before it does, there will be a time of distress. And as governments give way to God's kingdom, it could make things difficult for us. So keep our faith and hope so strong in our dear Father and his wonderful Son, who have done so much for us out of their great love. We can stay in their love and be so grateful for the wonderful hope they've given us. So thank you so much for watching this morning, and take care in these very difficult last days. God bless.